And welcome back to the Young Turks and yet another debate. My name is Basic Cable's Brian Unger. I'm your moderator this evening. We are live from the Young Turks in downtown Culver City, a bedrock of political activism. We are joined here by our candidates, Senator Santorum, Representative Ron Paul, Mitt Romney, the former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. Gentlemen, I'd like to talk to you first about this issue. The State of the Union address. I presume you all saw it?
Did not know it was on.
At that address, where a president traditionally comes in and addresses in a bicameral fashion the State of the Union, our union, President Obama made a joke. And I'd like you to take a look at it, and then I'd like to hear what your assessment of that is. Let's roll that.
We got rid of one rule from 40 years ago that could have forced some dairy farmers to spend $10,000 a year proving that they could contain a spill, because milk was somehow classified as an oil. With a rule like that, I guess it was worth crying over spilled milk.
Spilled milk. Mr. Speaker, what is your response to that attempt at humor?
The president has been a gross failure. He's been a failure at comedy. He has never told a funny joke. When I am the president of the United States, the joke will be on America.
You know, as someone who bought, gutted, closed, and laid off a lot of dairy workers at a farm, I know that there is, in fact, no crying over spilt milk, and I think that it was actually one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
I think it's appropriate that the president talked about spilt milk, because with Obamacare, the president wants to be everybody's daddy and mommy and take care of everybody and clean up after their spilled milk.
I don't know whether people know this about me, but in my group of friends, all of them straight, I'm known as the funny one. You know, the people who serve with me certainly know, and I think the president was very funny, and I think he should quit his day job.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Ronald Reagan and I shared many jokes together.
Thank you for that, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to address a question to you, Representative Paul. You were born around, well, 12 years after the 1913 Revenue Act, around the time the cotton gin was just being laid to rest. And that was the start of the modern-day income tax. You're proposing a complete overhaul of the tax system. What is your plan if elected president, presuming that you actually survive this campaign?
Before 1913, the income tax rate for Americans was 0%. That's about the income tax rate that I'm looking for. But for all these decades, the federal government has been taking the hard-working Americans' money to finance our national debt. We'll never get out of these economic problems until the federal government returns the taxes paid by all living and dead taxpayers since 1913.
I think the tax rate should be negative. I think we should be getting money back. I think that's what all Americans believe. And furthermore, he is a dangerous man. We need to attack Iran immediately. The fact that he does not recognize that is a threat to the republic.
Rick, how are you losing to all of us?
I find it staggering.
Yeah, I do too, just
yeah.
listening. Yeah.
Gentlemen, we surveyed 50 random drunk people in Las Vegas, and we asked them to come up with some...
I love Vegas.
And,
go to the Venetian.
I'd like to remind some of our viewers behind the curtain to shut up. We did get some substantive issues and questions that we'd like to put forth to you, the candidates, from this focus group that we held. The first one is, if you were an app, what kind of app would you be? Mr. Romney.
Well, I wouldn't be a free one. I'd be one that charged a lot. You'd have to click a lot of, you know, a lot of iPhone bills.
Representative Paul, what kind of app would you be?
I would be the deregulator. If you activate the app, the regulation goes away.
Senator?
I don't know what an app is.
Mr. Speaker, what kind of app would you be if you were forced to be an app?
As the only man here who's accomplished anything in his entire life, and I remember when we balanced the budget, Ronald Reagan and I worked really hard, and later I balanced the budget after forcing Bill Clinton to do it. So I've been grinding away at this for a long, long time. I would be a grinder.
You'd be Grinder.
I still don't know what an app is.
Senator Santorum, don't kid us. You know what Grinder is.
I do.
Let's keep moving, and I'm hesitant to go into this area because the last anchor who tried to pry open this vault door got his fanny spanked. Mr. Speaker, as you know, Katy Perry and Russell Brand recently have filed for divorce after being married for 14 months. They did not have a prenuptial agreement. What advice would you give, or what do you have for either of them as they go into possible second marriages? Do prenuptials matter? And did you sign agreements with your 3 wives?
Liberal media scum like you make me want to vomit over and over again. How dare you ask me a question like that? Now, if I had an open marriage, I would definitely ask Katy Perry to call me at 555-1212 if I had one and if she was interested. But I obviously do not. I have 800 witnesses to that effect, and I have made it clear over and over again that I do not have an open marriage unless it is with other hot women.
Governor, speaking of many wives and hot women, how do you respond to that?
Well, first of all, the fact that the speaker is talking about all the open marriages he has brings to mind my Mormonism for a moment. And I think, I think that a lot is being made of his...
Mormon.
All right, Opus Dei. Hello? Rick, you want to talk religion?
Mr. Moderator?
I have had 3 different religions. I think I win.
That's a good point.
That's well done. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, let me follow up on something. We have an epidemic in this country. I think everybody would agree. We have an epidemic of bullying in this country. Bullies are defined as erratic. They show little concern for the feelings of others and have trouble following the rules. In short, bullies manifest aggression. Aggression and control.
No, go ahead, ask me that question.
Who on this stage, yourself included, would you classify as a bully?
Yeah, now go ahead, liberal media scum. Go ahead, ask me that goddamn question. See how it turns out for you.
Could we have just
God
someone...
damn it! You looking at me? Rick, you looking at me? I'll rip that sweater vest off you.
I'm sorry. I didn't...
Okay, you know who could beat Obama in a debate?
I'd
A
appreciate...
bully! A speaker! Someone who loved Ronald Reagan. Ask the question again. Ask it.
Let's move on.
Thank you. I'm terrified.
Please.
Try not to approach the desk up here. I went to Columbia.
What'd you say, liberal media? What'd you say, liberal media?
I went to the Columbia School of Journalism to be
I
able to
bet you
sit
did.
here, and I do think that these proceedings
I bet
deserve
you
Then
did.
some.
this has to be a high point for you.
As I said, we're going to move on. Senator Santorum.
Yes.
You said earlier today in Florida that we're not going anywhere. We're going to be in this race for the long haul. How long will you continue to go nowhere? And when will you know when you get there?
That's an excellent question, Brian. This isn't about Florida, where I'm going to finish 4th, if I'm lucky. This is about Colorado and Minnesota, Michigan, other states I've been to. I'm not airing any TV ads in Florida, not because I don't have any money. It's because I'm making that choice. But what we are going to do is we're going to put ads in hearing aids. First of all, I don't think that people in Florida, with their busy schedules, I don't think the retirees even have time to watch television. But with these little ads in hearing aids, say you're at the Boca Mall and you're having dinner at Cheesecake Factory with your ungrateful grandchildren, and they're talking about Jerry Steinfeld or Snoopy Dogg, something like that, and you don't know what they're saying. You can, because of the loud rock and roll music, am I right? Huh? You turn up the hearing aid, and as you turn it up, what you'll hear is, vote Rick Santorum for some gosh darn peace and quiet. I think it's going to be very effective, and I think we're going to surprise some people, and I think we can beat this guy.
How is this guy still in the race?
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Are you getting a Santorum ad in your ear right now?
I don't have the big sponsorships that these other gentlemen have. My campaign is based on my supporters.
I don't have any
That's
big
great.
sponsorships.
Speaking of voices in your ears, I'm getting one now, and I'm told that we need to go to a break. The Young Turks and yet another debate. Debate will continue with some parting words right after this.
Hamburger Helper Stroganoff. Beefy, creamy, stroganoffy. Helpers, 40 dishes, all delicious.
Good evening, and that concludes this Young Turks yet another debate. We appreciate you so much for being with us. I'd like to thank our candidates for being so giving of their time here in Culver City. I know you're all on your way to Florida. Is that correct?
That's right.
Mr. Speaker, Newt
I'd like to
Gingrich.
remind everyone that I am a historian and an amateur paleontologist.
And you also host a a program on Current, and we're going to get to that in a moment too. Senator Santorum, thank you so much, and you and your best. Safe travels down to Florida.
Thank you. Not going to Florida. No need.
Representative Paul.
And the Fed, bring our troops home from these senseless wars.
I hope we didn't curtail your liberty too much tonight. And Governor Romney, thank you so much. Is the beard going to stay with us all the way through, or what?
You know, it may, Brian. Thanks for having me here. It may stay. I change my mind a lot. I change it. If you don't like a position I have, it's only because I changed my mind. That's all. Just wanted to let you know that.
Well, thank you much. I'm Brian Unger. Thanks so much. We hope that some of these clips will be played endlessly on all major cable news networks tomorrow and just sicken you of the political process. I'm now going to turn our program over, this one, the time remaining, to the host of the program of the Young Turks, Mr. Newt Gingrich.
Let me be clear. This guy worked at Bain Capital. It was rapacious. It was outrageous. All right, we're done.
Rapacious?
Listen, guys, I just want to let the audience know. As you can tell, this is not a regular program, man. We take risks.
Make sure you tell the audience there was no script. Could they tell?
There's no question about that. So, you know what? We tried. I don't know if it worked. You let us know at current.com/The Young Turks.
Oh, you're
we'll
joined
take
by
your
your
info. Oh,
lovely
here's our
wives.
wives.
We had a
The
good time.
unlikely African-American wives of the GOP field.
When do the white women get here? I'm going to wait.
All right, countdown is next.